Coming at number 10, we have Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Well, it seems like Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth are officially over and there's no chance of the two ever getting back together. But can we just take the time to talk about flowers for a second? For years, people have blamed Miley's behavior for being the destruction of their relationship, and even Liam's family has said some crazy things about her. But when Miley released Flowers, it would tell a different story, and can I just state, the way she shaded Liam Hemsworth is effing iconic. Not only did the song come out on January 13th, which happens to be Liam's birthday, but Miley would leave us some huge Easter eggs that explored her relationship with Liam Hemsworth. Based on fan theories, the lyrics of the song can be viewed as a response to Bruno Mars' When I Was Your Man, which Liam had supposedly dedicated to Miley on their wedding day. Others theories pointed out Liam Hemsworth's infidelity, when fans pointed out the vintage YSL gold dress was a reference to Jennifer Lawrence. The helicopter is a callback to Amanda Bynes, and the shooting location itself is the mansion where Liam brought 14 women to in order to cheat on Miley. Miley can also be seen wearing a black suit in the music video, which has been linked to Liam Hemsworth's suit during the Avengers Endgame premiere when the Australian actor told her to behave for once. And not to mention, one of the dance moves Miley does can be linked back to a red carpet moment when Liam moves away from Miley when she's dancing up to him, which proves that their relationship was pretty toxic. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 9, we have Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott. Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott have one of the most toxic relationships Hollywood has ever seen. While the popular A+ reality TV star has built an empire of her own, she truly deserves better, as Travis has been cheating on her since they got together. It seems like Travis has really no respect when it comes to Kylie, and that he uses her to get a rise on his own career. Inside sources have also accused Travis of taking out his bad days on Kylie, and all Kylie does is spend a lot of her nights crying because of her insecurities, and now no matter what she does, Travis still goes and looks elsewhere. While the couple has been on and off since their daughter Stormi was born, after the holidays, a source would confirm the pair has now split up once more, and they'll probably get back together again. While Kylie is focused on her kids and her business, she isn't a big partier. However, Travis is a direct opposite, as he likes to party, and they seem to have very different focuses. He also tends to lash out at Kylie anytime cheating allegations rise. Coming number 8, we have Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. It's clear that Khloe still has deep love for her serial cheater ex-boyfriend Tristan Thompson, and it seems after the passing of Tristan's mother, we may see the couple get back together soon, until he cheats again. In an interview with The Sun, Joe Hemmings would suggest that the reality TV star may be getting back together with her ex-basketball player boyfriend despite his multiple infidelities, by saying Khloe has unconditional love for Tristan and wants to maintain a close relationship with him. They have 2 children, so supporting him through a difficult time comes naturally to her. But while she's secretly devoted to Tristan, he needs to wake up and keep his desires and impetuous behavior in check in order to give this another chance. While Khloe is no way an opportunist in comforting him after his mom's passing, but she knows that he'll appreciate her support immensely. Number 7, we have Blueface and Chrisean Rock. To say Blueface and Chrisean Rock's relationship is most out of control toxic relationship we have ever seen would be an understatement, as it seems like Rock is just off her rocker lately, and now she's pregnant and claiming it's Blueface's baby. And the things between the pair are about to get even more messy. However, shortly after Rock announced her pregnancy to Blueface, he would take to his social media to deny the claims. He would also demand a paternity test to be conducted, as he's officially done with Rock and their on and off again romance. But at the end of the day, Rock is still sticking to the script and claiming Blueface is her man. While Blueface claims the baby isn't his, and Rock has been with 10 other men this year alone, Rock would also suggest that he's just being a clown, and she would also say he was just mad because she went on a trip and didn't message him for 24 hours and he thought she was with another man. But just after their split, Rock's announcement of being pregnant, she would then be captured on a video fighting 2 girls in the street while she tried to get Blueface into her car. Number 6, Christian Bale and Dax Shepard. When Christian Christian Bell and Dax Shepard first met, the two had a pretty toxic relationship. Christian would even say, "First year, you were working your kinks and I loved it." We'd get in a fight because we would fight a lot, and I'd yell something, then I slam the bedroom door, and then I slam the front door, and then I get into my car and I skid out of the driveway, and I would sit around the corner in my car and it felt so good. And then I realized how incredibly toxic it was only after he pointed it out. Christian then said that they overcame the issue when Dax put his foot down and told her she couldn't leave in the middle of a fight. Long before the couple actually became the Hollywood it couple, Dax would also sit her down to say that he couldn't have a relationship with her right now because he was dating Christian for 3 months and thought she was wonderful, but then also he was still dating other people. This would lead Christian to feel liquefied, but she respected that he had the balls to tell her that they weren't in the same place. Thankfully, Dax would quickly realize that his now wife was the one, and he would confess, "I don't know what I was thinking. I was dating someone else, but they're just not as interesting as you, and I don't know what I'm doing." However, Belle hasn't let him off the hook and still reminds him from time to time that he broke up with her from time to time. Number 5. Behati Prinsloo and Adam Levine. For the Maroon 5 frontman Adam Levine, it took dating someone else to realize that the Victoria's Secret model Behati Prinsloo was the one. But even today, their relationship still seems as toxic as their relationship was when they first started dating, considering Adam keeps cheating on his wife and even told one of his mistresses that he was going to name his child after her. Following the couple's brief breakup, Adam broke it off with fellow Victoria's Secret model Nita Agdel, who he had been dating at the time before he promptly proposed to Behati. On The Tonight Show in 2013, Adam would even say, famous last words, "I'll never get married. I still don't necessarily think you have to get married unless you meet someone that makes you want to marry them. And then when you marry them, it's wonderful." Well, Adam would then end up marrying Behati in 2014 and proceeded to have 2 children with her. That hasn't stopped him from being a womanizer and creating a toxic relationship for the pair to try to fix. Number 4. Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin. The longtime love between Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin experienced a bit of a roller coaster in the summer of 2022, and the two would even announce their plans to divorce in late August. While the rumors started to speculate that Sylvester left his wife Jennifer after she told him not to get a dog, and he got it anyways, he would then replace the photo of his wife tattooed on his arm to a picture of the dog that he adopted. However, in a statement with People after Jennifer filed for divorce, Sylvester would say, "I love my family. We are amicably and privately addressing these personal issues." Fast forward to 1 month later, Sylvester would reconcile with his wife, who hates the new dog, after they decided to meet up at the home and talk through their differences. And now they both seem extremely happy. Well, that's for now until the dog makes Jennifer mad again. Number 3. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Formerly one of the world's most public couples, the pair called off their engagement in 2004, and Ben would move on with Jennifer Garner before making a slew of disses towards Jennifer Lopez. Then fast forward to 17 years later, it seems like the once toxic couple put aside their differences and realized that they were meant to be together after all, as they were now back on and going stronger than they have ever been. Rumors of Jennifer and Ben's relationship first ignited in late April when they were spotted outside of her LA home following her split from Alex Rodriguez. And 2 years later, they enjoyed a getaway to Montana where they were photographed on a romantic drive together on May 8th. By April 2022, Ben and Jennifer would announce that they were really meant to be together this whole time, and then they would announce that they were once again engaged, and in the summer of 2022, they would get married twice. Number 2. Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne. The UK X Factor judge opened up about her relationship status on her talk show, The Talk, putting an end to the speculation that she and her estranged husband had reconciled following the split that came about after the infidelity rumors that plagued the couple. Considering Ozzy is a rock and roll legend, their relationship has always been filled with some pretty toxic things. After all, he is the guy that bit off the head of a bat when he thought it was fake while performing. While Sharon has gone on to say that she does forgive the rock legend for his infidelity, she would also say it's going to take a long time to trust, but we've been together for 36 years, 34 years of marriage. I can't think of my life without him. With that, she would also add a little levity and would call Ozzy a dirty dog for saying that he's gonna pay big time, but considering the wild career he has had and the pretty questionable things he has done, he's already paid big and there's nothing really that can face him at this point. And coming in number 1 today, we have Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. Well, Justin Bieber and Hailey Hailey Bieber seemed to be happily married. Before they tied the knot in 2018, Justin and Hailey had to work through a couple of bumps in the road as their relationship has been pretty toxic, considering Justin wasn't able to let go of his ex, Selena Gomez, just yet. Also to Justin, at first Hailey was this crazy fan who he was introduced to by her uncle, Alec Baldwin. Before the couple's first split, they briefly dated in 2016, and after they called it quits, they went through this really long period where they couldn't even be friends anymore, which is understandable because he got back with Selena Gomez. However, by 2018, when Justin was officially over Selena, the pair would then be spotted packing on the PDA, and then by the next month they would announce their engagement, and then they even got married twice, the first one being in a courthouse in New York City, and the second time was this beautiful ceremony in South Carolina surrounded by family and friends. But it doesn't quite seem like the couple is fully out of the rocky waters just yet, as they seem to have this really strong tension between the two, and some fans are guessing how long this couple might actually stay married for, and who knows who Justin might just jump back to if they do end up getting a divorce. Selena.
At number 10, Chris Brown and Rihanna. One of the most toxic relationships out there was that between Chris Brown and Rihanna. No one is quick to forget that incident that happened after the pre-Grammys party in 2009. Though they were seen as the industry's it couple, things were far from perfect and were clearly very negative and toxic. On the night before the Grammy Awards, Chris and Rihanna got into a serious physical altercation which left Rihanna hospitalized from her injuries. Chris was labeled as a monster for what he did that night. A police investigation was conducted and Chris pled guilty to felony assault. As a result, he was sentenced to 5 years probation and 6 months community service. A lot of people believe that he should have been given a harsher sentence because of how severely he hurt his girlfriend, but what do you guys think? Did he deserve more punishment or did he get what he deserved? At number 9, Mariah Carey and James Packer. Apparently, Mariah Carey is a horrible person. In the past, we've heard stories from people who've worked with the singer saying how she is so mean behind the scenes, but apparently the same goes in her romantic relationships as well. Yeah, maybe all she wants for Christmas is you, but at what cost? According to some sources, her relationship with James Packer was the most toxic. She allegedly treated him like garbage, even throwing his personal items, including his laptop, out of the window, all because he played a Beyonce song. Their relationship ended just before they were set to get married because she, quote, wasn't happy with his behavior, but James' management fired back, claiming that Mariah was twisting things. Bottom line is that things were toxic and needed to end. Now before I go any further, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video, and also head on over to my gaming channel Viper Girl if you're looking to enjoy some more awesome content. At number 8, Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio. I couldn't imagine the pressure of being an A-list star. The public's eyes are always on you, from your everyday outings to your love life. Having a relationship must also be very difficult when you're famous because everyone feels entitled to having an opinion on your love life. When one of Hollywood's biggest stars, Marilyn Monroe, got married to Joe DiMaggio, it was a very big deal. Everyone thought that the actress and the athlete looked like a beautiful match who were deeply in love, having met and married within a relatively short amount of time. Really, at the time, they were hashtag relationship goals. They got married in a quiet City Hall ceremony in January 1954 and turned a work trip to Japan into their honeymoon, as they had to squeeze their special day in between work engagements. But just 9 months later, their spark had faded and their relationship was over. The problem was that Joe allegedly wanted Marilyn to be a stay-at-home wife, but because Marilyn was at the height of her career and she loved her work, she wouldn't agree to that, and she just wanted to keep working. Joe also apparently had a hard time coming to terms with his wife's public image, being a Hollywood idol, and apparently her famous subway gate scene was the last straw for him. Their marriage ended with Marilyn citing mental cruelty as one of the reasons behind their divorce because of how toxic things had become. She didn't like how her husband refused to support her, and that's just not the kind of energy she needed in her life. At number 7, Kate Moss and Pete Doherty. There are many ways that a relationship can be toxic. It can be more one-sided or it can be mutual. Kate Moss and Pete Doherty's relationship was one that was toxic from both sides. Though they were engaged at some point, they still had their problems. In an interview, Pete once said that with Kate he was, quote, always dodging bullets. He claimed that Kate had a bad temper, saying that she once accused him out of the blue of having an affair and then verbally and physically assaulted him. On the other hand, Kate had a big problem with Pete's substance abuse, demanding that he quit, but also taunting him with substances of her own. They were an on and off again couple who really just weren't good for each other. They kept going back to each other until around 2007, where they decided to stay apart for good. And it was a very toxic situation, but their breakup was probably for the best. At number 6, Saweetie and Quavo. No one really acknowledged it until recently, but singer Saweetie and rapper Quavo had a very toxic relationship. The pair recently announced their breakup, and though it started off looking like a simple case of two people growing apart, soon the public found out that there was more to the story than once thought. Shortly after announcing their breakup, footage was leaked which showed the former couple fighting in an elevator. The footage showed the two of them in a physical altercation, showing Saweetie trying to strike Quavo, a suitcase being thrown, Quavo falling on top of his girlfriend, and ending with Saweetie limping away. Though this footage was from a year ago, it gave people a different perspective on how their relationship was at the time. Their problems were only just now publicized and sort of exposed the two of them for being toxic. Both Saweetie and Quavo have said that they've moved on from this incident, and Quavo issued a statement assuring that he's never abused his girlfriend. Their breakup has caused some drama within Quavo's family, making this a very toxic situation. At number 5, Luann and Tom D'Agostino. Nothing says toxic like reality TV. Everything on those shows are incredibly toxic, so to have one feature a toxic relationship wouldn't really be much of a surprise. Real Housewives of New York cast members Luann and Tom D'Agostino were once a couple whose poor relationship was broadcast to the world. Apparently, everyone in the cast knew about how toxic things were, and some of them actually warned Luann about Tom, saying that he was untrustworthy and that he was still pining after his ex. This complicated things, but they still carried on with their relationship, and the two got married on New Year's Eve in 2016. Towards the end of the show's 8th season, it was revealed that one of the Real Housewives cast members had photos of Tom kissing another woman just days after his and Luann's engagement party. Soon it became apparent to the public that there were some serious troubles in their relationship. Luann and Tom even got into a heated argument in public at a restaurant, which ended with Luann slapping Tom across the face. This toxic relationship and Tom's constant infidelity was never resolved until the very end. They were only married for 7 months, and those were probably some of the most toxic 7 months of their lives. At number 4, Axl Rose and Erin Everly. Moving on to a toxic relationship from the rock world, we have the tumultuous relationship of Axl Rose and Erin Everly. Their relationship was very publicized and is one that is certainly ingrained in the rock world. The two met at a party in 1986 while Axl, the frontman for Guns N' Roses, was still an up-and-coming musician, and the two formed an instant connection. Erin quickly became one of the most important people in Axl's life, becoming the inspiration for the song Sweet Child of Mine. Despite being a beloved and good-looking match on the outside, they actually had a very toxic relationship, but that didn't stop them from getting married in 1990 in a Las Vegas ceremony. The toxicity started even before they were married because, according to Erin, Axl allegedly threatened to harm himself if she didn't marry him, so already things were off to a pretty rocky start. Their marriage didn't really last very long, as it was annulled in 1991, just 9 months after getting married. Fast forward to 1994, and Erin filed a civil suit against Axl where she alleged that she had been a victim of citing Axl as her attacker. Things have been messy since their split, as Erin has auctioned off memorabilia that she had kept from her days with Axl and the band, looking to rid herself of any trace of her old ties with them, showing us that things really were quite toxic back then. At number 3, Elizabeth Taylor and Conrad Hilton. Elizabeth Taylor was one of Hollywood's most memorable icons. Though she was incredibly successful in her professional life, her love life was not. Because she was married 8 times, she had some regrettable relationships, and some of them caused scandals, but others were just downright toxic. One of her shortest and most toxic marriages was to hotel heir Conrad Hilton. The pair were only married for 205 days before getting their marriage annulled after feeling neglected and abused by her new husband. This was her first marriage, as she was only 18 at the time of her wedding, but shortly after they tied the knot, Liz started to notice how indifferent Conrad was to her, recalling how she would feel hurt by the abusive language her husband was using towards her. During their honeymoon, the two also reportedly fought a lot and spent more time apart than they did together. So things were off to a rough start from the very beginning. Eventually, Liz saw that nothing was going to change with Conrad, and so she made the steps towards ending their marriage. Liz ended up winning her divorce on the grounds of mental cruelty. She also refused alimony and took back her maiden name. Essentially, she erased any connection she had to Conrad, almost pretending like it never happened. She later told news sources that her idea of marriage was naive, and so she regretted her decision to marry him in the first place. At number 2, Jennifer Lopez and Ojani Noah. Jennifer Lopez has been in her fair share of high-profile relationships. She's even been married 3 times. Now, although those marriages didn't really work out, they ended on okay-ish terms, except for her marriage to Ojani Noah, because that ish was just toxic. Their marriage lasted less than a year, but their relationship after their divorce was where things got super toxic. Ojani was seemingly only in the relationship to reap the benefits of being with a celebrity. He spent the time that they were together documenting much of his life with her, as well as her habits behind the scenes, preparing them for his own tea spill, if you will. This relationship was doomed from the start, but J-Lo just didn't see that until it was too late. I mean, you would think that your partner isn't trying to use you for money and clout, so why would you really be expecting that? After their divorce, Noah tried leaking intimate photos and videos of the couple on their honeymoon, and he even had plans to release a tell-all book about the singer. It was almost like he was a behind-the-scenes paparazzi. J-Lo actually ended up suing Ojani in 2009 for $10 million, citing that the videos he released, as well as the book and movie deals, violated an agreement that they had which prohibited him from exposing the singer's life. That is some very toxic behavior. Using someone for your own personal gain is never a good thing. Finally, at number 1, Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson. Recently, actress Evan Rachel Wood came forward about her extremely toxic relationship with singer Marilyn Manson, as she cited years of manipulation, brainwashing, and pain, outing the singer as her abuser. She opened up about some of the things that she endured and witnessed, like starvation, sleep deprivation, threats, invasion of privacy, as well as anti-Semitism and racism. Sometimes this toxicity would bleed into other people's lives, as Wood alleged that Manson made threats against her loved ones as well. Manson's toxicity was apparent even after their relationship ended, as he said in an interview shortly after their relationship ended that he tried calling Evan while harming himself and then blamed her for his actions, saying, quote, "I wanted to show her the pain she put me through. It was like, I want you to physically see what you've done." Like, that is very disgusting behavior, and it hurts my soul to know that anyone has ever experienced this kind of behavior. From enduring verbal and physical violence, Evan has now spoken out about her experiences, and Manson has lost everything. As a result of the allegations against him, he was dropped by his music label and agent and is under investigation by the LA Sheriff's Department. The actress also condemned the music industry and his label for covering up the many instances of abuse, saying that they were aware of the circumstances behind the scenes. Evan also isn't the only person to come forward with similar allegations. Now the fight for justice is on, and we are hoping for the best for Evan, as well as everyone who bravely came forward and those still healing from the trauma. At number 10, Ariel Winter. Modern Family star Ariel Winter has had a toxic relationship with her family, and things were so toxic, in fact, that she was emancipated from them. Her family drama was outed as the court hearing for her emancipation trial went public back in 2012, and it showed the public how she was treated specifically by her mother. It was alleged that Ariel's mom interfered with her daughter's work because of her, quote, harassment and interference. There were reports of her mom not feeding Ariel and dressing her in a way that was inappropriate for someone her age. It was also reported that Ariel's mom had repeatedly laid hands on her child as well. There were a number of testimonies that painted a toxic image of Ariel's family, and she was eventually granted emancipation after a 3-year battle. Some of the most heartbreaking toxic relationships are those between family, because they're the ones who are supposed to love you the most, but they can also hurt you the most. Before I carry on with the video, I would just like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video, because it really does help us out a lot. At number 9, Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Justin Timberlake was exposed this year after the truth came out about his toxic relationship and breakup with Britney Spears back in the early 2000s. The Framing Britney Spears documentary that was released recently looks into the way the pop star was shown in the media, from paparazzi to interviews, and it dives deep into how this stardom affected her. A big part of the documentary explores Justin Timberlake's role in the media's mistreatment of Britney. After their relationship ended, Justin made Britney look like a villain in the relationship, accusing her of cheating and essentially weaponizing their breakup to boost his career. The media then went on a frenzy, blaming and shaming her when she really didn't deserve it. People's eyes were opened into just how toxic their relationship and subsequent breakup was, and a lot of sympathy has been given towards Britney as the truth has finally come out about the whole thing. For a long time, people saw the pop star as the villain, but now we've learned that she was really just a victim of a toxic relationship. At number 8, Chad Johnson and Everlyn Lozada. Chad Johnson, also known as Chad Ochocinco, and ex-wife Everlyn Lozada were only married for 2 months, but so much toxic drama happened in that short amount of time to permanently damage their relationship. Their relationship had been intense for a long time, but it wasn't until after they got married that the world learned just how toxic it was. After dating for less than a year, the two got married in the 4th of July ceremony in 2012, but just 2 months later, there came an incident that shattered their relationship. Everlyn recalled finding a receipt in Chad's car for items that prompted the idea that Chad was cheating. The two fought, and it all ended with Chad seriously injuring his wife. Chad was later arrested for battery and domestic violence, and they divorced shortly after the incident. Everlyn did an interview after the ordeal where she opened up about her feelings on the situation.
You know, I knew that he was lying, and I told him, I never forget telling him, I said, I'm not sticking by you through this. I don't care if my marriage is the laughing stock.
And the two eventually went their separate ways. Overall, the relationship burnt out really quickly, but it was fueled by toxicity, and in the end, no one really deserves to have that in their lives. At number 7, Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose. Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose were married for some time after tying the knot in 2013, but after 14 months of marriage, things got toxic, they divorced, and it was a nasty breakup. There were allegations of cheating, and custody of their son was also up for debate. Years later, Amber Rose opened up about her brief marriage to Wiz Khalifa and the toxicity around it, and spoke about her regrets concerning their relationship. She once said how she regretted getting married when she did because they didn't give themselves enough time to grow in their relationship, and this was one of the things that contributed to the hostility. Amber also said that she felt as though they would have had more success in their marriage had they gotten married later in life, calling their wedding a mistake at the time. They took some time and have grown to be friends, so maybe this toxicity has been forgotten about by them, but not so much by their longtime fans. At number 6, Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. Here we have yet another toxic Kardashian relationship. In one of my previous videos, I talked about how Kim and Kanye's relationship was toxic, but here's another one that contained a bombshell cheating scandal. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson have had a very difficult relationship. Things were apparently toxic from the very beginning, since it was believed that Tristan was cheating on his ex with Khloe when they first got together, so the infidelity in their relationship was apparent from the get-go. Things were going pretty okay for a while, with Khloe even getting pregnant with Tristan's baby, but in April 2018, just shortly after their daughter True was born, photos of Tristan appearing to cheat were leaked, and TMZ even leaked footage from 2017 showing Tristan kissing women at a club. This was a huge deal, especially as this all came out around the birth of their daughter, but what surprised a lot of people is how quickly Khloe got over it. Things mostly died down after a few weeks, but later in 2019, more cheating allegations came out, detailing how he had been cheating on Khloe again, this time with their longtime family friend Jordyn Woods. This was supposedly the nail in their relationship's coffin, but now in 2021, there have been reports saying Khloe and Tristan are back together, and that Khloe has mostly gotten over his infidelity. This doesn't look good and really just looks like a toxic mess, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens with them. At number 5, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Even though they are one of the industry's most famous couples, that doesn't mean they aren't toxic. Though Queen Bey and Jay-Z are seen by many as a Hollywood power couple, they have also had their troubles and toxicity, and they seem to have started back in 2014. It all started when Solange and Jay-Z got into that big elevator fight at the Met. For a long time, no one really knew what the reason was for this brawl. Some thought it was money, others thought it was family drama, but apparently it was because he had been confronted about an alleged affair he was having with his former business partner's ex-wife. Though no one really acknowledged or spoke about this apparent infidelity, things started to get even more toxic in 2016 after Beyonce released her album Lemonade, where she made several subtle and not so subtle comments on her husband's alleged affair. Of course, instead of talking about it in private, Jay-Z instead released his own album in response, where he apologized to his wife for his infidelity and addressed some of the issues in their relationship. After all of this music drama, the two of them were able to work through their differences and have sought out couples therapy to rebuild their bond. No one knows if this scandal still hangs over their head and if that toxicity is still there, but at least they're trying to work through it civilly. At number 4, Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan. Social media feuds can often bring out the most most toxic relationships. Even though they had reportedly been friends for some time, influencers Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan have been caught in a feud after Cole alleged that Tana hacked his social media accounts and tried to sue him for $100,000. Cole called Tana out after sharing a screenshot of a cease and desist text that he was allegedly sent by Tana's lawyer. The text he received essentially warned Cole that he was in violation of a contract that he had signed with Tana and that a breach of contract would subject him to pay $100,000. The contract in question, a non-disclosure agreement, is one that Tana allegedly has her circle of friends sign each year, and so now Cole is apparently in trouble after one of his social media posts violated the terms of said contract. Cole has also claimed that Tana hired someone to hack his social media accounts, where they were then able to delete a number of his accounts, like his YouTube channel and Twitter account. Cole has also claimed that Tana has kicked him out of her house, used him for free makeup services, and would even go through his personal belongings when he wasn't home. Even friends who seem happy on the surface clearly have their dark, toxic secrets as well. At number 3, Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have been the talk of the town ever since their bombshell Oprah interview, and they've been scrutinized for a lot of what they spoke about. One of the biggest things that people have taken away from their interview was their toxic relationship with the royal family. According to sources, one of the most strained relationships is that between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. Meghan and Kate have reportedly been on poor terms for quite a long time, with some sources saying that they haven't spoken to each other in over a year. A lot of people say that things are toxic between the two of them, and this narrative was heightened because of the interview. During the interview, Meghan addressed the public's view on her feud with Kate over Princess Charlotte's dress at Meghan's wedding, saying that Kate made her cry over it. Though they eventually patched things up and Kate apologized, they haven't spoken to each other much, and because of the feud between their husbands, it's added even more strain to their relationship. The royal family clearly has a lot of drama going on these days, and even one of the world's most famous families can have its toxicity. Hopefully, Meghan and Kate can one day patch things up for the sake of being rid of this negative energy. At number 2, Cardi B and Offset. Rappers Cardi B and Offset have had a rocky and toxic relationship. Though they've been together for some time now and they have a daughter together, that doesn't mean that their relationship is all sunshine and rainbows. There have really been a few times where their behavior has opened up a lot of fans' eyes and have labeled their relationship as toxic. Rumors have been a part of their relationship for a while, the most common rumor being about cheating. In September of 2020, Cardi actually filed for divorce from Offset after rumors started circulating that he had cheated on his wife and he had actually gotten another woman pregnant during that time. Fast forward a month to October 2020 and the relationship was patched up after Offset bought Cardi a $300,000 car and a billboard dedicated to her. When Cardi took him back, that's when the internet started talking about how toxic their relationship really was. People were honestly very surprised that Cardi took Offset back even after everything he did to her, with some adding that Offset was using guilt and emotional manipulation to keep her in his life. In response to some fans' comments, Cardi defended her relationship, saying that it wasn't toxic as everyone believes and that she is not in an abusive relationship. Does the fact that she's defending her husband make you think that they are in fact toxic or just misunderstood? Let me know down in the comments. Finally, at number 1, Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick. The Kardashians have seen their fair share of toxic relationships, obviously, but out of all of them, Kourtney and Scott's relationship has to be one of, if not the most toxic. Kourtney and Scott have been on and off again since 2006, and even though they've broken up so many times, they can't seem to distance themselves from each other enough. The pair co-parent their 3 kids, but they also cause a lot of drama whether or not they are together. But they've never been completely out of each other's lives, since Scott is also part of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians lineup. Because they've been through so much together, fans continue to ship them, but really, we shouldn't be romanticizing their toxic relationship. In the past, Scott has cheated on Kourtney, and even when they were broken up, has said that he's dated other women, specifically those much younger than him, only to make Kourtney jealous. Kourtney and Scott also struggled with Scott's substance abuse problem, with Kourt once going so far as to tell Scott that if he didn't get help, she wouldn't allow him to see their kid, and for a long time, Scott refused to get help. Things finally ended for good in 2015 when Scott was accused of cheating with one of his exes and Kourtney just had enough of his infidelity. From that point, they haven't been in an official relationship, but they haven't kept their distance either. Kourtney has made comments about having another kid with Scott even though they aren't together, and Scott has been very vocal about how heartbroken he is to see Kourt in a new relationship. Bottom line here is that they are toxic and that we have to stop giving in to them.
Number 10. Nigella Lawson and Charles Saatchi. The couple's fight was witnessed by a photographer who stumbled upon celebrity chef Nigella Lawson being choked by none other than her husband, Britain's most high-profile figure, Charles Saatchi. The incident all went down during her birthday lunch, and a now infamous photo was captured of the chilling sight. The photographer, who only went by the name Jean-Paul, told Vanity Fair in 2013 that when Charles grabbed his wife's throat, quote, "It was so violent, with such force that her head snapped backward." The story hit the tabloids at full speed and actually served to open up a much-needed conversation about domestic violence. Their relationship was obviously far from perfect, but the intense controversy that the incident sparked was enough to tear them apart forever. That same year, Charles filed for divorce from Nigella after 10 years of marriage. Funnily enough, he later told the Daily Mail that putting his hands on her throat was merely a gesture and insisted that there was no pressure applied to her. Yeah, right. Number 9. Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries. Their 72-day marriage had certainly shown signs that it was going to end quickly. A few days before Kim divorced Kris on day 68, the couple was spotted arguing in their car while out on a dinner date in Hollywood. The newlywed couple were photographed heading back to Kim's car after dinner, and you could visibly see the tension in the air. Kris looked fed up, and Kim was giving her new husband the death stare while yelling and waving her hands at him as the argument began to escalate. This very public fight was indicative that their relationship was on the rocks, because that same year Kim went on to file for divorce and got the marriage annulled. The Los Angeles Times even reported that Kim had only married him to increase ratings on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The best part was that Kris asked for a $7 million divorce settlement from his ex-wife. Otherwise, he threatened to make her endure an ugly public trial. But the NBA star ended up walking away with literally nothing. Number 8. Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. The American Horror Story actors first met on the set of Adult World in 2012, and in the short 4 years since then, the two have shared more drama than some of Hollywood's biggest blockbusters. Toxic doesn't even begin to describe their relationship. We're talking about at least 3 breakups and deleting all social media traces of each other. Early on in their relationship, TMZ reported that the two got into a heated argument while staying at a hotel in Montreal that ended up with both stars getting physical. When police arrived, Peters was found with a bloody nose and bite marks on his body, prompting police to take Emma into custody, arresting her for domestic violence. But her then boyfriend decided not to press charges, and they were back together a few hours later. What's really bizarre is that a couple of days after the fight, photos were shared online of Emma clinging to Evan while sobbing into his arms after news broke of the fight. Paparazzi were even able to capture the two hugging one another, with Emma looking extremely upset the whole time. The incident was a bit of a grey area, but many have labeled it as straight up domestic violence. Number 7. Stephen Amell and Cassandra Amell. The couple have been married since 2012 and all seemed well in public until it didn't. The star of CW's Arrow and his wife got into an altercation on a Delta flight from Austin to Los Angeles that ended up with the actor having to be forcibly removed from the flight. Stephen was reportedly screaming at Cassandra while they were seated on the plane and appeared to be intoxicated when a flight attendant asked him to calm down multiple times. When the fight escalated to the point of no return, the actor had to be restrained and removed by an air marshal and 3 flight attendants that worked together to get him off the plane. His wife did not go with him and instead chose to remain on the flight. Big surprise there. With the incident made public, Stephen took to Twitter to try and explain the whole thing and claimed that his emotions got the better of him. Quote, "My wife and I got into an argument. I was asked to lower my voice and I did. Approximately 10 minutes later, I was asked to leave the flight and I did so immediately. I was not forcibly removed." The whole thing was really absurd because if they needed 4 people to get him off the flight, something about his side of the story just doesn't add up. Number 6. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Before the former couple split, their relationship was clearly becoming strained, as The Sun reported that the same year that Jolie filed for divorce, they were spotted in Legoland having a major public spat. Onlookers told the magazine that both stars didn't look happy and looked stern-faced, and photos from the incident show Brad actually grabbing Angelina's arm while she pulls away and appears to be screaming at him. The couple filed for divorce in 2016, citing irreconcilable differences. Now the actors are both learning to co-parent their 6 children after years of custody battles and child support drama. According to Daily Mail, Brad has even been seen visiting Angelina's house to spend time with his kids, so it sounds like they are back on good terms. Number 5. Rihanna and Hassan Jamil. The former couple seemed like they were perfect for each other after rumors swirled that the two were engaged in 2017. Although they managed to keep their relationship very private and didn't post many photos together on social media, photos emerged of the two on a trip to Mexico in 2018 that left many fans wondering if they were done for good. The paparazzi captured photos that painted a picture of Rihanna screaming at her former billionaire boyfriend and angrily pointing her finger at him while they were on the poolside. What's interesting about the photos is that in comparison to Rihanna, Jamil looked very calm and almost passive in the argument, which made the whole thing go viral. Because of all the noise online, the singer took to Instagram and posted a meme of a female lion roaring at a male lion with the caption, quote, "When you think you know more about soccer, #World Cup 2018. But even though she had a good sense of humor about the fight, the couple still ended up splitting up in 2020 because allegedly their lives were just too different and it was too hard to maintain a relationship. Number 4. Nicholas Hoult and Jennifer Lawrence. The couple fell in love with each other when they first met on the set of the X-Men movie series and became co-stars. Jennifer played Mystique and Nicholas portrayed Beast. It all seemed to be going well for the pair until they suddenly split in 2014 after dating for nearly 5 years. They did have a really public fight, however, when they were once spotted arguing during a dinner. According to reports, the former couple was at a restaurant together when they started really getting into it. Witnesses claim that the actress was upset about something and even threw her hands into the air at one point. Nicholas apparently also got very frustrated as he started shouting at her. Jennifer had apparently had enough with him and broke down as he stormed out of the restaurant. Seems like it was a bit of a mess, but it's great that the former couple have since been able to move on with their respective partners. Number 3. Simon Cowell and Lauren Silverman. This was not just one explosive fight, but actually several. The lid was really blown off the couple's relationship problems when paparazzi captured photos of them in March last year having a tense argument while walking with their son Eric. According to The Sun, passerbys noticed that the X Factor judge had a face like thunder, and their arguing was so loud almost everyone could hear them. In fact, it was reportedly so bad that Lauren got fed up and had to walk away from Simon, while the former American Idol judge decided to cross the road to the other side to put some distance between them, and he walked the rest of the way on the other side of the street. But that wasn't the first time that the pair had a fight in public. In fact, back in 2013, the couple were seen shouting at each other inside a car in New York City. They were even photographed in the middle of an altercation while sitting in the back of an SBU in broad daylight with their windows down. Simon had his hands in the air and Lauren looked like she was crying. I guess it goes to show you that celebrities really are just normal people. Number 2. Beyonce and Jay-Z. Yes, I'm about to talk about the infamous sushi fight. So in 2016, the paparazzi caught the power couple dining at a sushi park restaurant in LA. And from the photos which surfaced online, we can tell that they really got into it. It showed them having anything but a pleasant sushi date. Beyonce was yelling and waving her finger at Jay-Z while he looked like he was glued to his phone the whole time. They say that it's rude to use your phone at dinner, but even worse, he just seems like he wasn't listening to her at all. The truth is, we'll never know what started the public argument, but it wasn't the first intense fight that they've ever been in. This all took place 2 years after the bizarre elevator fight at the 2014 Met Gala between Jay-Z and Beyonce's sister Solange, when she started attacking him by punching and kicking him in an elevator, all while the bodyguards eventually had to restrain her. It was really quite funny because Beyonce was just standing there and watching it all unfold. The three artists did make a joint statement about the incident, which read, quote, "They both have apologized to each other and we have moved forward as a united family." And coming in at number 1, Shia LaBeouf and Mia Goth. The controversial actor Shia LaBeouf has had some seriously messed up allegations brought against him in recent years, but this fight was just so bizarre that it deserves a place on the list. The actor and his former longtime girlfriend Mia Goth, who has recently starred in the horror movie X, got into a heated altercation in Germany in 2015 that was all captured on video. The argument occurred on the streets and got so bad that a few locals had to intervene. Shia was heard shouting, quote, "I don't want to touch a woman, I don't want to hit a woman, but I'm being pushed." He then got into a random person's car and had them drive him to the airport. He later told that same person that if he had stayed there, then he would have taken her life. But they seem to have made up after the fight and even got married in 2016 in Las Vegas, only to split up 2 years later. The relationship was probably a complicated one because in 2020, People magazine reported that the pair was spotted together wearing wedding rings. Hopefully they parted for good because they seem to be extremely toxic together.